Today is the last seminar of the year. Back in January, we shouted for the full mobilization of the central organization and traveled around the world with our leaders. There were also achievements, and I didn't expect to receive any ministerial level awards at the end of this year, but we got 3 this time. CCM certification. Third round, CCM stands for customer-centered management, meaning we are managing with a customer focus. We are managing with a consumer focus. Anyway, we have received the third round of certification, which I'd like this. The Minister of Trade, Industry, and Energy mentioned ESG, which stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance, referring to environmental protection, governance structures, and social contributions, and said we are doing well in ESG management. The Minister of Trade, Industry, and Energy decided to give us an award, and we received a commendation. In any case, I increasingly feel proud that Atomy is carrying the image of the network marketing industry itself. Receiving such CCM certification in ESG. Awards are things that have never happened in multi-level marketing companies before. Yesterday, Kim Yon-suk Imperial's grandchild, who is in elementary school, noticed that the teacher was using an Atomy toothbrush. So did they recognize it or did they not recognize it? They said, "Teacher, you're using an Atomy toothbrush?" When they said this, the teacher asked, "Do you know Atomy?" That's how it went. They replied, "My grandmother is an Imperial." But the teacher knew what an Atomy Imperial was. "Oh, is it true that your grandmother is an Imperial? What's your grandmother's name?" Kim Yon-suk. So this person knew about Kim Yon-suk, the Imperial. So everyone was like, wow. In such rare and special cases, do they get recognized or not? They ended up getting recognized. However, this is not yet common. Everyone is doing Atomy. It's multi-level marketing. That teacher knows about the Imperial and has heard the name Kim Hyun-suk. And since they're using Atomy toothbrushes, there must be a distributor nearby. Even if the teacher can't do it directly, so that person knows it like that, but there are still people who don't know. But this is just a matter of time. So you all should look towards the next 10 years and start learning diligently. From now, right now, our Kim Sung-il Imperial, when he first came, it was really tough. These days, it's not as tough as it used to be. Earlier, Jung Yoon-ja, Star Master, joined the Leaders Club with an annual income in the hundreds of millions. The person who was in the Ministry of National Defense, a person who is 74 years old. However, he is now earning several times, or more than the pension he received from his long public service. Also, Chumine, or Star Master, has now joined the Leaders Club with an annual income in the hundreds of millions, and her husband is a pastor. He was a young pastor in his 30s, a civil servant who entered with difficulty, but resigned and started an Atomy business, achieving an annual income in the hundreds of millions. You all know the doctor nickname Butt Doctor, and he is now in the field of proctology. He also became a Sharon Rose Master. Additionally, there is a doctor who runs an internal medicine clinic on Shinhan Island, and he was trying to purchase Hemohim. He made every effort to buy it, eventually finding a center and asking to be registered himself. And now he has become a Sharon Rose Master. Even those in respected and enviable positions are now transitioning to Atomy. That is because the income they earn is mostly labor income. Labor income only occurs while you are working, and if you are not working, no income is generated. Everyone, when you are sharing the Atomy business, I'll give you a hint. Who is it good to share with? Usually, I have no money right now. I'm broke and can't live. Unable to do this or that are often preferred. But if you do it that way, it's difficult for you all. So, if you bring someone who hasn't been able to do other work well, do you think they will do well in the Atomy business? The probability that they won't do well is much higher. Then who should you register as an Atomy business partner? Someone who has succeeded in any field. It's good to bring in people who have done something properly. However, most people think that such individuals wouldn't be interested. Then, are you interested in approaching people who are doing nothing and suggesting they start an Atomy business? That's not it either. However, don't ignore them. Because even if they are 80, you should never abandon elderly men or women. Why? Because right next to them, there are plenty of sons and nephews who are perfect for this business. Right? So, you need to share this with everyone. But in order to do that, you need to first understand how good and excellent the Atomy business is. However, there are people like this. Going like this, but we tell them to meet 100 people a day. And as they are instructed to pioneer like this, they sigh deeply, saying, how did I end up marrying the wrong husband? And have to go around like this. And when they see a store, they think, if only I had a little money, I could do that and wouldn't have to do this. People who go around with that mindset won't succeed. So how should we view them? Looking at the current trends, about 70 to 80% of businesses with physical stores will fail in the future. Isn't that the reality now? If you go downtown these days, you'll see many for rent or for sale signs on stores. I even took a picture in Sejong City. Look at this. This is a major commercial area, less than 100 meters from Sejong City Hall. But look, it's for rent or sale. That's the second floor. It's completely empty. But they want to sell it after having bought it. Do you think anyone will buy it? No one in their right mind would buy it. It can't even be rented out. But what does come out? Taxes and maintenance fees come out. So it's a burden. It's not an asset. I feel like just throwing it away somewhere. These phenomena are continuously occurring, and the commercial districts in the city are gradually shrinking. Isn't that right? So now, when you see people running a store or doing something, you might think, I wish I had met a good husband and had something like that. Should I think like this? Or should I think that I need to help those people? A person who thinks they need to help is someone who truly understands Atomy. Because in reality, talk to those people, they feel frustrated. So regarding those people, we need to think that since the times have changed, this is a cutting-edge business. We should think of it as guiding them in this way. And what's good is that those who have run even a small store have a business mindset. So even if they do the Atomy business, they do it differently. In my opinion, in about 10 years, I think people will flock to Atomy in great numbers. Why? Because by then, the social perception will be favorable, and everyone will think it's better to register and use Atomy products. If you try to start then, it will be too late. Now, when people are still hesitating, this is actually the right timing. So you all need to take action now. From the very beginning, when Atomy was established, I will create a company that can compete with general distribution and win. This is the goal I set and started with. So, by competing with discount stores, department stores, TV home shopping, and online shopping malls, we will win. How will we win? We will win with quality and price. If it's something sold at a discount store, we will take that product and sell it even cheaper. For example, a toothbrush. At a discount store, it's 2,200 won, but we sell it for 1,200 won. So how is that possible? When I lower prices like this, it's not just about cutting costs indiscriminately. The cost is down reasonably. So I decided that I would never change this design in my lifetime. Everyone, if you change the design, you have to change the mold. All of that goes into the production cost. So let's not change the mold and make it run automatically 365 days a year. Then the depreciation cost of the equipment is greatly reduced and labor costs are reduced, allowing us to meet the price. So even now, you can't sell such a toothbrush for 1,200 won at a discount store. For example, right now we are selling sunscreen for 8,000 won and 12,000 won. And when I give one as a gift, people say they were using a 70,000 won sunscreen, but ours is much better. So in golf courses across South Korea, almost all have switched to Atomy, to our sunscreen. Now, Absolute cosmetics are truly amazing products. There are no cosmetics like them in the world. Recently, Absolute Cosmetics received the King Sejong Award, which is given by the Patent Office. The King Sejong Award is only given to the first place winner. Various patents are pouring out, and you have to be first to receive the King Sejong Award. It was jointly developed by Korea Kolmar and Atomy. So Atomy holds half of the patent rights. The price, 30,000 won per item. The price of the cosmetics is 33,000 won. Expensive for our ladies. Is it cheap? Is it reasonable? So, for those who used to use expensive products, we explain why ours is cheaper. We don't explain why it's expensive, but rather why we sell it so cheaply. So, among many people, there are those who thought it was too cheap and didn't use it after receiving it. Is there anyone like that here? Raise your hand. Because of this, you can really proceed with confidence. So, if you think you want to use it for the rest of your life, what will you do? Do you want to use it just for yourself? Or would you like to tell your neighbors about it? Would you like to tell your sisters, brothers, and their families too? Do you want to keep it just for yourself? Usually you want to share it, right? Why? When something is valuable, you feel like sharing it. For example, if you go to a restaurant and find the food really delicious, clean, cheap, and the service friendly, then you tell others to go eat at that restaurant. When they visit that neighborhood, you naturally talk about it, even without receiving any advertising fees. So with Atomy, it's very natural. That's why you first share it with people close to you, and then work harder. You should help these people quickly overcome their financial difficulties, and I should also become wealthy quickly. With that mindset, you just need to keep working hard. Is there any harm to others? There isn't. Why? Because everything we sell is a necessity. Everyone, even if you don't buy from Atomy, do you use cosmetics or not? You do, right? Do you use shampoo or not? You do use them, right? You buy toothpaste and toothbrushes and use them. Most people are consuming health supplements now, and even those who don't should be. So if it's something I have to use anyway, and it's of the highest quality and affordable, then it's something I use for life, and I recommend it to those around me. Isn't this a business where you sell these things? It's not a business where you sell things, but you do have to sell them. But if you ask who to sell to, you only need to sell to one person. Sell it to me, to myself. But if it's a necessity, cheap and good, is it easy or difficult to sell it to myself? It's extremely easy. Moreover, for example, if you want to do overseas business, since we are doing business in the US, you need to register in Korea and also in the US. We don't have such things. We only have one Korean code. For example, if a partner registers an American friend, still, this person's sales will come up to me. This person registered in Mexico. This person registered in Spain. It spread to Europe. It spread to China. All the sales happening around the world like this. The computer finds all of this, so you can receive it all as commission. This kind of system is in place. Among our leader business partners, quite a lot of them have more than half of their sales happening overseas. They didn't even know themselves that it was happening so much overseas. You have to think carefully. This goes on infinitely. It transcends borders. When you hear this, you imagine the world's population coming to you. When you imagine flying to meet your partners and they come to the airport with bouquets and these thoughts explode in your mind, then your mind is in a good place. That's when it clicks. Raise your hand. Wow. It has no choice but to go well. Oh my, for a whole year I've been running as if my life depended on it. I'm turning 70 the day after tomorrow, and I've even had nosebleeds from working so hard. I thought to myself, wow, I'm really working late into life, even getting nosebleeds. But seeing all of you raising your hands today is comforting. The fatigue of the year is completely relieved. Study the compensation system well, and then you'll understand how the organization expands in your mind. But you have to believe in it. So what do fools do? Show me. That's what they say. Faith is the reality of things not seen. Who would believe in what is seen? This is recorded in the Bible. We have this incredible talent called spiritual imagination that allows us to believe in the unseen, but we don't use it in our lives. When I started with Atomy, I went to an online department store at that time. I had a big market store that went bankrupt, and I was really living in a rented room. I was diagnosed with severe diabetes and given about a year to live. They said if it progresses quickly, I might not even last 3 months. In that situation, I started this Atomy business. And at that time, I said that this company would go global. In Atomy, if you reach the imperial level, they said they would give you 1 billion won with a forklift. Why? That was before I even made 50,000 won. I weighed 1 million won. Then I calculated the weight of 1.5 billion won, and it was over 100 kilo. So could I lift it or not? I can't lift it. This is a big problem. I have to present this on stage. What should I do? So I was worried until 3 a.m. and couldn't sleep. I was worried about that. That's a good mind. In a 500,000 won monthly rent room, I'm pondering how to give away 1 billion won. Is the 1 billion already in my imagination or not? It is? What do you call this? This is called creation. It's a creative mind, creating things in your head. So everything visible in the world comes from the invisible. Did it come out? Did it originate? Is it recorded like this in the Bible? Then where do you think it came from? This building, if you sit everyone from here to the top, about 7,000 people can sit. Where do you think this building came from? It came from my mind. So, it was imagined in the invisible part of the mind. And then we decided to do it like this. It was created, in other words, the successful future you envision. Where do you think it should come from? You need to get out of your head. Then you need to have a clear image in your mind of how you will succeed. Do you know the biggest reason why you haven't become rich? It's because you haven't thought about becoming rich. Then do you say something like this? I won't refuse to become rich. When did I ever not want to be rich? It's not that you didn't want to, but you didn't actively want to either. How do you do that? So, how much money do you need to have to be considered rich? What would you answer when asked this? I calculated that you need to earn at least 30 million won per month for a lifetime to be considered rich. Raise your hand if you thought like that. Why? Because you learned it at Atomy. Because those who earn between 5 to 10 million won, the ones who are good at studying go there. Only those with annual salaries in the hundreds of millions, they go there and work extremely hard, but they never become truly rich. After buying a house and paying for the kids' education in retirement. You won't starve, but you can't really call that being successful or rich. But if you truly want to become rich, should you give your parents pocket money? Should you give them living expenses? You should give them living expenses. So how much do you give for living expenses these days? Even with 300, it's not much. You have to go back and forth to the hospital and sometimes treat at the senior center with some noodles. But haven't you lived by giving 200,000 or 300,000 won once and thinking you've done your part? A truly rich person. When their children get married, do they buy them a house or not? Of course, they should buy them a house. But it's ridiculous to say things like, as if it's written in a textbook. Since we've educated you, now you have to handle getting married on your own. You have to manage your own living expenses. Rich people don't do that. They buy a house. Why? Because it's harder for the children's generation to buy a house than it was for our generation. So, on average, if you have 2 children, what should you do? You need to have 2 houses for them and 1 for yourself, making it 3 houses to be considered wealthy. Then calculate for yourselves if you can earn 30 million won a month and give your parents 3 million won for living expenses. You can't do it now. How can you expect to earn 30 million won when you're not even earning 5 million? But everyone, is it harder to earn a lot of money or a little money? Usually, people think it's hard to earn a lot. But earning a little is hard, and earning a lot is also hard. Both are difficult. But if you have to choose, should you earn a lot? Should you earn a little? But from what I see, people who earn more seem to live a bit less difficultly than those who earn less. For example, it's like this. There's a grandmother running a small corner store, earning 1 million won a month. But why? Because in this neighborhood, if you open a large convenience store or supermarket, here, one is operating a 10-pyong store, while the other is running a 500-pyong store. So who do you think is working harder? The person running the smaller store is working harder. The one earning less? People think that earning 10 million won is 10 times harder than earning 1 million won, but that's not the case. So, earning a lot of money doesn't mean it's more difficult. So, you should think about earning big money. And generally, people think that you should adjust your spending according to your income. That's what we learned in school, right? So, we were taught to keep a good household ledger. But everyone, please stop keeping a household ledger. Thank you. Do you think rich people keep a household ledger or not? Rich people don't keep one. I don't keep a household ledger either. My wife just uses the card as she pleases, and I use mine as I please, and that's it. I don't even know how much we spent. Yesterday I saw my wife, and I was donating here and there. And after giving everything away, I thought I should rely on my wife. Yesterday, my wife announced that she would donate 5 billion won annually for 10 years, totaling 50 billion won. When she made the announcement, we decided to select some of the students among Atomy's auto salespeople who are in difficult situations through our SOS and donate 5 billion won each year. But this is not from the Atomy company. It's from Dokyung personally. It's being given from her personal account. We need to live with set goals. The biggest reason why many of you haven't become wealthy is that you haven't truly thought about becoming rich. How have you lived? You've tried to follow the path that others take. If I can't make it, I tell my children to study hard, get into a good university, and find a good job. Get into a top-tier company. That's what you've been doing. However, that path is not the way to become wealthy. So you should truly think about becoming rich. This is Park Han Gill from NBC News. Now, at Atomy, we can't cover everything in this session. So if you go on YouTube, there are a lot of my lectures and lectures from leaders. Also, go to the center and study these things in the compensation book. If you become an Atomy, Imperial, you earn over 1 billion won. So, if you study a bit and get to know exactly what Atomy is, a vision will form in your heart. You need to study thoroughly and do it diligently. Can you really succeed in earning 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, or over 100 million won a month without being thorough? Everyone listen, in any job. If you don't do it thoroughly, it won't work. Even if you go to a construction site to do labor, you have to do it thoroughly. If you do it half-heartedly, you'll be kicked out even from the construction site. So, if you don't do it thoroughly, there is no success. But if you say, even when I do it thoroughly, it doesn't work, then those people should do it exceptionally thoroughly. In many other places, doing it exceptionally thoroughly still doesn't work. But in Atomy, if you do it exceptionally thoroughly, it works. Why? Why? Because the partners, wow, our sponsor really lacks skills and isn't great, but when they see you really putting in the effort, they think, I should really help this person succeed. And when you do it exceptionally thoroughly, the partners start to move. For example, it's like this. I'm going to meet someone. I'll go with you. Even if it doesn't help much. Oh, I'll just carry a bag or something. I'll just stand by your side. And if there's any errands to run, I'll do them all. Even if you go out like this, the sponsor won't abandon you. But if you act arrogantly for no reason, then just so. Whether you do it thoroughly or exceptionally, you can succeed. Next year we will. It's not a 4-character idiom, but whether you do it thoroughly or exceptionally, that's how it concluded. So I hope you all meet Atomy, become Imperial, and in this world, have so much money that you don't know how to spend it. Thank you, and may you receive material blessings as well. But since we can't just die, may you receive eternal life. And together, with me, let's go to heaven. I hope to meet all of you in heaven. Thank you.